The question is, how much is Linux? Well, Linux is free. Theoretically, you can buy it. As we mentioned, there are commercial versions, but then you're actually paying for technical support, rather than the system itself. We can get a free Linux system distribution without a problem. In theory, the only risk is that the distribution we get will no longer be developed later. Although, in the case of major distribution like Red Hat, OpenSUSE, and Ubuntu, that just can't happen. These organizations have the support of large commercial companies and are too large themselves to suddenly disappear from the market. Generally, companies engaged in the creation of Linux distributions and software for Linux are usually nonprofit organizations, financed with all kinds of donations. Until we need to make use of some commercial applications on Linux, everything should be free of charge. We've already mentioned that some of the distributions are sponsored by large commercial companies such as Attachment, Novell, or Red Hat, because the open distribution created that way is a kind of proving grounds, where these companies test various solutions before putting them on the commercial market. Obviously, we shouldn't be scared by the expression proving grounds. You shouldn't think that we are being treated as some sort of guinea pigs. Solutions delivered this way are stable and they're refined. But before entering the commercial market, all the innovative options are tested on systems like OpenSUSE or Fedora. Commercial distributions always require that you purchase a license that authorizes to receive updates for its duration. If for some reason someone needs technical support, a commercial distribution will be better, provided that the distributor has experienced staff who are familiar with Linux. Technical support works quite fast, and you're given rights to a much larger number of activities on the part of the software vendors than in the case of Windows, where if you buy the boxed version of the system, you're limited to a number of calls you can make to the Technical Support Center. It's something like 5 in the first 3 months. And then for each subsequent call, you need to pay extra. In the case of Linux distributions, license agreements are much more friendly to the end user, and the service continues throughout the license's duration. Where to get Linux distribution? The easiest way is to download it from the internet. The creators of each distribution have a website, mentioned earlier when discussing the distributions, where they provide full CD or DVD images, and sometimes even USB images that we can download both in 32 and 64-bit versions. If you have a poor internet connection, or for some reason you cannot download the images, you can buy a magazine on Linux in a press store, and such magazines almost always include an installation of some version of Linux. It will probably be the latest version of one of the distributions we mentioned, which was just released on the market. You can install such a distribution directly from CD or DVD. CDs and DVDs can also be ordered. Often they're sent free of charge. For example, you may order a CD with Ubuntu or Fedora. Sometimes you just have to cover the shipping costs. As is the case of Fedora, if I remember well, Ubuntu distributes its CDs totally free. But you should be aware of the fact that the completion of such an order may take a very long time. With Ubuntu, it's probably half a year. So if you want Linux right away, that's not the way to get it. Though an original disk with a distribution is a cool gadget, and some people order it only to get a cool disk with some nice images on it. However, recently, this method of distribution has become much less convenient, especially that virtually everyone has access to the internet. During our course, we'll be using the Fedora distribution. It's available on the Fedora project website at www.fedoraproject.org. On that webpage, there's a link through which you can download the distribution in any form, a live CD, or an ISO image that you can burn on a CD or DVD, and install the system.